Today we're going to find out what this plant has to do with the legendary Greek warrior Achilles, how you can treat mosquito bites on the go, and why this bright yellow herb is considered nature's very own antidepressant. Every year, in the weeks between summer and fall, we start collecting wild herbs that grow in our woods. About 90% of the herbs and plants we forage end up being dried and used as tea in the cold season. The remaining 10% end up being used for tinctures, ointments, and natural cosmetics. This is a typical day where we go for a walk and take our bags to forage along the way. This is St. Johns Wort. Named after John the Baptist, this bright yellow flower has seen use long before its Christian namesake. Here in the Nordic countries it has been used for centuries, not only as a medicinal plant, but also to ward off evil spirits. As a tea, it is used to treat anxiety, depression, menstrual cramps, sleep issues, headaches and more. Folklore says that the more sun the plant gets, the more powerful it becomes. You can also make an oil if you infuse the petals with olive oil and let it sit in the sun for 4 to 6 weeks. Applied on wounds, it acts as a disinfectant and supports healing. It can also prevent stretch marks during pregnancy. This is Mugwort. This herb is named after the Greek goddess Artemis, protector of women and childbirth. One of the reasons being that mugwort can induce labor, so it should never be used during pregnancy if you don't want to in fact induce labor. Mugwort has long been used all over the world, especially in Europe and Asia, not just as a seasoning for fatty meats, but as a medicinal and sometimes magical herb. It's always associated with protection. For example, here in Scandinavia it is closely associated with the god Thor and believed to ward off evil spirits. But besides its magical properties and significance in folklore, mugwort has a lot of health benefits. Brewed as a tea, it is great for digestive support. It stimulates appetite, relieves indigestion, bloating, colic, gas, nausea, constipation and diarrhea, and aids bile production for better digestion. As mentioned before, it is great for women's health. It's used to regulate or stimulate menstruation, ease the menstrual cramps, and historically to help induce labor. A nice cup of mugwort tea also soothes the nerves. It calms anxiety, eases insomnia, and relaxes the nervous tensions. It also has mild sedative qualities. It also reduces pain and inflammation. It relieves headaches, arthritis, fever, chills, and nerve pain. Mugwort is also traditionally used as a dream herb in folklore. Mugwort tea, or a small sachet under a pillow, is said to aid dream recall and promote lucid dreaming. This is Yarrow. This beautiful white flower also used to be called Herba militaris, or military herb, because it was used to stop wound bleeding on the battlefield. In fact, it is even named after one of the greatest warriors of all time, Achilles, who is said to have used this plant to heal wounds in the Trojan Wars. Yarrow contains anti-inflammatory, antiseptic, and astringent properties that not only help wounds heal by stopping the bleeding and preventing infection when used topically, but also reduces skin inflammation, itching, bruises, and burns. Brewed as a tea, it helps with digestive issues, menstrual cramps, fevers, anxiety, and balance the blood pressure. Additionally, if you chew the fresh leaves or roots, it helps with toothaches. This is wild chamomile. This flower is probably the most commonly known herb from today's list. Who doesn't enjoy a nice cup of chamomile tea? For me, it's the foundation for every herbal tea I make. Almost every ancient culture mentions chamomile at some point, making it one of the most recognized medicinal herbs ever. In Norse mythology, chamomile was connected to the goddess Frigg, who was associated with motherhood, protection, and fertility. It was believed to bring luck and prosperity in the Nordic countries and sometimes used in rituals asking for a favor. What we have here is the wild chamomile. You can recognize it because it doesn't have the petals. While it might not be as pretty as real chamomile is, it's much more intense in its taste. Brewed as a tea, it calms anxiety, reduces stress, and supports restful sleep. It also can help relieve cold symptoms, coughs, sore throats, and mild fevers. This is red clover. Now we all know clover, especially the four-leaved one. But did you know it was one of the first crops ever cultivated by farmers due to its value as a forage and its positive impact on the soil? But as almost all herbs we discuss here, red clover was also widely used for its more spiritual or magical properties. In fact, in Celtic or Druidic tradition, red clover was seen as a powerful talisman to ward off evil spirits and was in their minds deeply connected with the sun. Dried clover is an excellent tea and one of the key ingredients in Nordic folklore medicine. It's commonly used for respiratory issues, traditionally used for coughs, bronchitis, whooping cough, mild asthma, skin health, it's used to manage eczema, psoriasis, and skin rashes, supportive for wound healing when used topically or in compresses. Bone health supports bone mineral density and may help reduce the risk of osteoporosis, especially in menopausal women. It's also great for detox and cleansing. It has a reputation as a blood purifier and diuretic, supporting the body's natural detox process. This is Eyebright. As you can probably imagine by its name, Eyebright has been used for centuries to treat eye-related ailments. In fact, the name Euphrasia comes from Euphrosyne, the Greek goddess of joy, symbolizing the brightness and clarity associated with the herb. Traditionally made into teas, tinctures, compresses or washes for eye application, it soothes and relieves inflammation in the eyes, reduces puffiness and dark circles, and relieves eye strain. This is Ribwort Plantain. Even though its dried leaves have been used for a long time in European medicine as a tea to treat coughs, bronchitis, sore throats and other mild respiratory ailments, this is not how we're going to use it today. In fact, it's the only herb on the list that we don't dry. You're making a tincture out of it. A tincture that is a must-have here in Sweden because it's incredibly effective in treating insect bites like from mosquitoes or ticks. When you combine the plantain leaves with high-proof alcohol, you get a tincture that's not only an instant treatment against itchy bites, but also a disinfectant. You can even use it on the go while hiking through Swedish meadows and woods. Just take the leaves and rub them on an insect bite.